proceed, Sir Linus, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death, end woes and all.
The Syracuse, bleed no more. It hath in solemn Senate been decreed, both by the Syracusans and ourselves, to admit no traffic to our adverse towns. Nay, more, if any Syracusan born come to the Bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the Duke's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied to quit the penalty and to ransom him. And thy substance, valued at the highest rate, cannot amount unto, 100 marks? Therefore, by law, thou art condemned to die.
Yet this my comfort. When your words are done, my woes end likewise with the evening sun.
Syracusan, say in brief the cause why thou departest from thy native home, and for what cause thou camest here to Ephesus.
Heavier task would not have been imposed on I to speak my griefs unspeakable. In Syracuse was I born, and wed unto a woman happy but for me, and by me too had not our hap been bad. With her I lived in joy. She became the joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and which was strange, the one so like the other, as could not be distinguished except by name. That very hour, and in that self-same inn, another woman was delivered of such a burden. Male twins, both alike. Those, for their parents were exceeding poor, I bought and brought up to attend my sons. My wife, not meanly proud of 2 such boys, made daily motions for our home return. Unwilling I agreed. Alas, too soon we came aboard. A league from Epidemnon had we sailed before the always wind-obeying deep gave any tragic instance of our harm. The sailors sought for safety by our boat and left the ship, then sinking right to us. My wife, more careful of the latter born, had fastened him unto a small spare mast, such as seafaring men provide for storms. To him, one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been like heedful of the others. The children thus disposed, my wife and I, fixing our eyes on whom our care was fixed, fastened ourselves at either end the mast, and floating straight, obedient to the storm, were carried towards Corinth. No, let me speak no more. Gather the sequel by what went before.
Hey, forward, old man, do not break off so, for we may pity but not pardon thee.
Oh, had the gods done so, I would not now have worthily termed them merciless to us. For ere any other ship we could meet, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon, our little hopeful mast was splitted in the midst. Her poor soul was carried with more speed before the wind, and in our sight they 3 were taken up by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length another ship had seized on us. Thus, have you heard me? Severed from my bliss and my misfortune was my life prolonged, to tell sad stories of my own mishaps.
And for the sake of them thou that sorrowest for, do me the favor to delate at full what hath befallen of them and thee till now.
My youngest son, at 18 years, became inquisitive after his brother and importuned me that his attendant, whose case was like reft of his brother, but retained his name, might bear him company in his quest of him. 5 summers have I spent in father's Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia, and coasting homeward, came to Ephesus. But now I must end the story of my life, and happy were I if all my travels could warrant me they lived.
Aegeon, whom the fates have marked to bear the extremity of thy mishap. Now trust me, though thou art a judge to the death, and past sentence may not be recalled, but to our honor's great disparagement, yet will I favor thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I'll limit thee this day. Seek thy health by beneficial help. Try all the friends thou hast in Ephesus. Beg thou or borrow to make up the sum and live. If no, then thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him into thy custody.
I will, my lord.
Hopeless and hapless doth Aegeon wend, but to procrastinate his lifeless end.